I'm Liyana Hassanel and this is Nightline, the headlines. Keluarga Malaysia Vehicle Insurance Financing Program to be extended to GLCs, GLICs and private sector. And Malaysians no longer need to fill in Mysejahtera Traveller's Pass beginning Monday. Good morning. The digital platform for Keluarga Malaysia Vehicle Insurance Financing Program, Mysejahtera.com, would be extended to those working in government-linked companies, GLCs, government-linked investment companies, GLICs, and the private sector soon. Apart from that, the program, which does not involve interest or usury, is also expected to benefit approximately 1.6 million civil servants, including those under contract of service. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the financing program was launched on Friday to help civil servants pay their car insurance and road tax in installments, at the same time offering various benefits to protect their cars from potential loss due to accidents or natural disasters. He said permanent and contract civil servants were eligible to apply for the insurance financing scheme, provided if the debt ratio did not exceed 60% of their monthly salary.
Program ini jelas membuktikan keprihatinan kerajaan terhadap kebajikan penjawat awam selari dengan aspirasi keluarga Malaysia yang menitik beratkan nilai keterangkuman, kebersamaan dan kesyukuran. Inisiatif ini tidak berorientasikan komersial semata-mata. Apa yang paling penting, ia dapat membantu merealisasikan konsep keluarga Malaysia berasaskan indeks kebahagiaan yang menjadi tanda aras komitmen dan kesungguhan kerajaan.
The initiative is a public-private strategic cooperation involving the Human Resources Ministry, Social Security Organisation, SACSO, also with the National Cooperative Movement of Malaysia Berhad, Angkasa. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri added that civil servants can pay their car insurance and road tax in installments of up to 10 months, with interest-free loan facility and without any deposit through the Angkasa salary deduction scheme. The Prime Minister also said they can renew their vehicle insurance at their fingertip easily, economically and quickly using the platform. The insurance cover note can also be obtained in just 5 minutes. Meanwhile, the Human Resources Ministry revealed that more than 50% of civil servants do not have enough savings to be used to renew their vehicle insurance and road tax. Its Minister Datuk Seri M. Saravanan said this was based on a study by the Ministry on the financial standing of the group during the Movement Control Order MCO.
Apabila tamat tempoh insurans cukai jalan, mereka dalam pertengahan bulan. Mereka tunggu sehingga ujung bulan untuk memperbaharui. Memandangkan mereka perlu bergantung pada pendapatan. Yang kedua, ada yang tidak memperbaharui untuk beberapa bulan. Yang ketiga, ada yang pinjam daripada alung yang melibatkan kos sebanyak 5 hingga 10% bunga. Yang keempat, ada yang menggunakan kad kredit membayar 18% interest.
He added that due to this, Mysejahtera.com was created to assist the civil servants and ease their financial burden. The minister, who was also present at the launch of the Vehicle Insurance Financing Program, also said that once the scheme is expanded to those outside the civil service, companies like Tenaga Nasional Berhad and Telekom Malaysia will be among first to benefit from the initiative. He pointed out that extension would also involve the implementation of a suitable mechanism for the collection of repayments to ensure a win-win situation for all parties. Malaysians returning to the country will no longer need to complete the Traveller's Pass features in the Mysejahtera application effective Monday. Health Minister Khairy Jamaluddin said this would only apply to Malaysian citizens before being expanded in stages to social pass holders, student passes and permanent residents. In a statement on Friday, Khairy said the new relaxation is to facilitate the citizens' return to Malaysia. He added this is also due to the health system now being at a good and satisfactory level. He also said the Traveller's Pass feature will still be displayed in the Mysejahtera application and needed to be completed by foreigners before entering the country. This would help the Health Ministry to monitor COVID-19 cases among foreign travellers, as well as other infectious diseases from abroad, such as monkeypox. The Cabinet's move to set ceiling prices and blanket subsidies for chicken and eggs has been done in great detail for the benefit and well-being of the people from all levels of society in facing the rising global inflation rate. The Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry said the initiative was aimed at helping breeders, suppliers, retailers and consumers, especially those from the B40 and M40 groups. The government has set a new ceiling price in Peninsular Malaysia for standard round chicken at RM9.40 per kilogram, while the price of Grade A chicken eggs at 45 cent each, Grade B at 43 cent and Grade C at 41 cent, effective July 1st for a period of 2 months. Effective Friday, the ceiling prices for chicken have also been set at RM9.90 per kilogram in Langkawi, between RM11 and RM11.30 per kilogram in Sabah, between RM9.80 and RM12.90 in Sarawak, and RM11.30 in Labuan. The price for Grade A egg is fixed at 47 cent each in Sarawak, except in Limbang and Lawas, where it has been set at 49 cent each. Grade B between 45 cent to 48 cent. Grade C between 43 cent to 46 cent. 50 cent to 51 cent in Sabah for Grade A, 49 cent to 50 cent for Grade B, and 48 cent to 49 cent for Grade C. While in Labuan, the price for Grade A eggs is fixed at 51 cent each, Grade B at 50 cent, and Grade C at 49 cent. The statement added that the government has allocated a total of RM369.5 million to implement the new ceiling prices, bringing the total blanket subsidies for chicken and eggs to RM1.1 billion since February 5th this year. A total of 80,179 inspections had been carried out at premises selling chickens and eggs as of May 31st, where the compliance rate exceeded 99% with only 121 cases logged. The ministry said it would increase enforcement by mobilizing 2,200 officers nationwide to check the compliance of breeders, wholesalers, and retailers with the new ceiling prices. Meanwhile, the removal of subsidies for bottled cooking oil with a capacity of 2 to 5 kilograms came into effect on Friday. This saw the price for bottled cooking oil increase, with some traders selling 5-kilogram bottles at more than 40 ringgit each. A check by our news crew on Friday saw shops selling the item at an average price of 42 ringgit and 50 cent for a 5-kilogram bottle. However, certain shops and supermarkets were still selling at the previously set price, as they still had old stock of the items. Although the subsidy for bottled oil has been removed, the government had previously announced that the subsidy for cooking oil in polybags would still be maintained with an allocation of 4 billion ringgit this year. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the subsidy allocation was much higher than the 500 million ringgit in 2020 and 2.2 billion ringgit in 2021. The subsidy borne by the government for cooking oil in polybags means that it can be sold for 2 ringgit 50 cent per kilogram, compared to the actual market price of 9 ringgit per kilogram. The proposed amendment to the Environmental Quality Act, or Act 127, to increase the fine on environmental criminals to 10 million ringgit is currently in the final stage. Environment and Water Ministry, or CASA Secretary General Datuk Seri Zaini Ujang said the amendment is expected to be tabled in the upcoming Parliament sitting, which will begin on July 18th.
Sekarang ni RM500,000 saja. Jadi kalau biasanya kesalahan tu takkan bagi RM500,000, dia bagi a fraction of RM500,000. Katalah 10% baru RM50,000. Jadi orang rasa syarikat-syarikat yang terlibat yang besar-besar ni RM50,000 rasa small matter. Ya, kalaulah 10% daripada 10 juta, 1 juta, iaitu memberi kesan yang sangat besar.
He told this to reporters after participating in a cycling program in Putrajaya on Friday. According to the Department of Environment, DOE, a total of 4,111 environmental pollution complaints were received in the first 6 months of this year, of which more than 80% of complaints were regarding air pollution or open burning. The country's cultural sector generated 261.3 million ringgit in national revenue last year, and its performance is expected to be better this year. Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister Datuk Seri Nancy Shukri said the National Cultural Council, MAKIN, would play an active role in driving the sector's performance. According to Datuk Seri Nancy, her ministry is giving serious attention this year to ensuring the revival of activities related to arts, culture and heritage. A total of 50 million ringgit has been allocated for rehabilitation purposes under the support grant for the tourism and cultural sectors. Of that amount, 25 million ringgit is reserved for the cultural sector.
Peruntukan diberi kepada kita beri grant kepada industri dan juga ada pihak NGO. Ini adalah salah satu daripada kita untuk stimulate ekonomi dalam negara kita supaya pelancongan domestik ini seperti biasa berterusan.
Datuk Seri Nancy said this at a ceremony to hand over letters of appointment to MAKIN members in Kuala Lumpur on Friday. She added as of June this year, 25% of the allocation has been approved for use, with 81 applicants given the nod to receive the cultural sector support grant totaling 12.4 million ringgit. TV3's Nightline bagged 2 top awards at the Huawei Media Awards and Appreciation Night 2022 on Thursday night. Nightline's Zainal Ratin won the Best Huawei News in Broadcast Media category and the Grand Award of Overall Best Huawei Story for his entry of the Prime Minister's visit to Huawei's Customer Solution Innovation Centre, CSIC, in Kuala Lumpur. The awards were presented by Department of Broadcasting's Director of Strategic Development Division, Abdullah Daud. Also present was Huawei Asia Pacific Vice President and Human Resources Director Terry Liu. Shahrul Redzwan Zulkifli from Harian Metro was presented with the Best Huawei Photography and Videography Award, while the Best Huawei News in Print and Digital category was awarded to Liu Tech Live from Sinchu Daily. The event was held to commemorate the media for the continuous trust and support for the company in conjunction with Huawei's 21 years in Malaysia. Huawei also hoped that the event will foster and strengthen the company's relationship with the media, which is a key element of the technology company's mission to support and engage communities. Russian missile attacks on Odessa killed 19. News from the foreign front when we return. Onto the foreign front. Russian missiles have hit an apartment building and a resort near the Ukrainian port city of Odessa, killing at least 19 people a day after Russian forces withdrew from a strategic Black Sea island. Dozens more were also wounded in the early morning attack on Friday, which came amid an uptick in missile strikes across Ukraine over the past 2 weeks. The Ukrainian Emergencies Ministry said one missile struck a 9-story building in the town of Bilhorod-Dnistrovsky, causing a fire in an attached building, while another missile which hit a resort facility in the area has killed at least 3 people, including a child, and wounding 1 more person. The Odessa attacks occurred shortly after Russia on Thursday said it would withdraw its troops from Snake Island, a strategically significant Black Sea outcrop Russia captured in the early stages of the invasion. Moscow called the withdrawal a gesture of goodwill, meant to show it is not obstructing United Nations attempts to open a corridor to transport grain from Ukraine amid a continuing global food crisis exacerbated by the invasion. In the meantime, the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen on Friday told Ukraine's parliament that while the country was firmly on the path toward EU membership, there is still some way to go before accession into the bloc, urging Ukraine to press forward with anti-corruption reforms.
Preventing and combating corruption has been particularly high on your agenda since the Revolution of Dignity. You have created an impressive anti-corruption machine. But now, these institutions need teeth and the right people in senior posts. That seemed almost unimaginable.
Von der Leyen praised Ukraine for being the only EU partner in Eastern Europe to have adopted a law to break the oligarchs' grip on the economic and political life, but added that Ukraine needs to focus on the implementation of the law in a legally sound manner. The EU chief also called for the appointment of the right people in senior positions, insisting the appointment of the new head of the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office and the new director of the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine as soon as possible. Additionally, she urged the Ukrainian parliament to pass laws in line with norms promoted by the Council of Europe to improve selection procedures for independent judges on the Constitutional Court. Prime Minister Boris Johnson on Friday stressed that Britain would do all it could to hold Beijing to its commitments on democratic rights made 25 years ago when Hong Kong was handed back to China. He said China had failed to comply with its commitment to respect a one country, two systems arrangement agreed under the deal that ended British colonial rule in 1997. Chinese officials rebutted British criticism, saying it should keep out of the affairs of Hong Kong and accusing it of retaining a colonial mindset despite a handover, as well as using human rights as a pretext to smear Hong Kong. It said the United Kingdom has no right of sovereignty, governance, or supervision over post-handover Hong Kong, and the so-called commitments do not exist at all. sports, badminton, the 2022 Malaysia Open. National men's doubles pair Goza Fei Nur Izzuddin Rumsani delivered a superb performance on Friday to beat their Chinese opponents and march into the semi-finals. The world number 12 subdued newly crowned Indonesia Open champions Liu Yuchen, Oh Swan Yi in a nearly packed Axiata Arena. In a repeat of the 2022 German Open final, which the Malaysians won, Zefei Nur Izzuddin again proved too strong for the Chinese pair, using their fast attacking play to race to a commanding lead at 13-5 before closing out the game 21-11. It was a tight contest in the next game as both pairs traded points until 2020 before a drop shot by Zefei sealed the match for them at 22-20. In the women doubles category, rising national pair Anna Chiang Ching-yig, Teo Mei-zing's fairy tale run came to an end with the quarter-final loss at the hands of Japanese pair Mayu Matsumoto Wakana Nagahara. The world number 44 Malaysian duo put up a spirited fight against the world number 6 Japanese pair before ultimately losing 21-15, 23-21 in their 44-minute encounter. Moving on to tennis, the 2022 Wimbledon Championships. Rafael Nadal battled his way into the third round of the men's singles at Wimbledon with a 4-set win over Lithuanian Richardas Berankis. Looking for a first title in 12 years at the All-England club, the second-seeded Nadal opened up a 2-set lead 6-4, 6-4, before Berankis fought back to take the third 6-4. An early break in the fourth was enough to carry Nadal over the line, winning the clash with a 6-3 victory. Nadal next faces Lorenzo Sonego of Italy. In the women's category, top-ranked Iga Swiatek took her winning streak to 37 matches by beating Leslie Patinama-Kirkov to reach the third round. Swiatek, however, was dragged to a 3-set battle before claiming a 6-4, 4-6, 6-3 victory. Illegals leaving 2 children to fend for themselves. The details after this breather. Welcome back. The Kuala Lumpur High Court has granted an application by the Prime Minister and government to strike out a suit filed by an individual in connection with the withdrawal of a review application over the International Court of Justice (ICJ's) decision on the Pulau Batu Puteh claim. The matter was confirmed by Senior Federal Counsel Shamsul Bolhassan after attending the online proceedings on Friday. Judge Hayatul Akmal Abdul Aziz, in allowing the application, ruled that the subject matter was non-justiciable and the plaintiff, Muhammad Hatta Sanuri, had no locus standi to bring the legal action against the defendants. The court also ordered the plaintiff to pay a cost of 6,000 ringgit within 30 days. In 2018, the Pakatan Harapan PH government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, withdrew an application to overturn the ICJ's ruling, awarding legal jurisdiction of Pulau Batu Puteh to Singapore even before the hearing of the case, which was scheduled on June 11, 2018. On May 28 last year, Hatta filed the suit on his behalf and on behalf of the more than 32 million Malaysians allegedly affected by the withdrawal of the review application, which was made without discussing and tabling it first in Parliament. In his statement of claim, he sought a declaration for the two defendants to pay compensation to each Malaysian based on the land value of Pulau Batu Puteh and based on the economic losses suffered by all Malaysians, including the plaintiff equally, amounting to at least 10 million ringgit each. A 1-year-old toddler and a 6-year-old boy were abandoned by their parents, believed to be undocumented Indonesians who absconded during an operation against illegal immigrants conducted by the Kuala Lumpur Immigration Department early Friday. Its director, Syamsul Badrin Mohsin, said the children were found alone by enforcement officers during the 1:30 a.m. raid in a squatter housing area in Kampung Masjid, Segabut Dalam in the city. Syamsul said that the operation was held following the end of the manpower and labour recalibration program that allowed undocumented migrants to return to their countries of origin voluntarily on Thursday. A total of 92 Indonesians and Bangladeshis living in the area were rounded up. From the total 76 individuals, comprising 46 men and 23 women, as well as 6 boys and a girl aged between 5 months and 57 years old, were found to have committed various immigration offences, including not having valid travel documents, overstaying, and using fake travel documents. Syamsul also said that authorities will continue to raid areas with illegal immigrants, including residential areas, as well as manufacturing and business centres, adding that there will be no more compromise. All those detained were taken to the Bukit Jalil Immigration Detention Depot for further action under the Immigration Act. A travel agent was charged at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court on Friday on 2 counts of using false bank guarantees documents for the proposed construction of housing units for officers and personnel of the Defence Ministry MINDEF, worth 22.5 million ringgit. 56-year-old Sulaiman Abdul Razak, however, pleaded not guilty after both charges against him were read before Judge Kamaruddin Kamsun, who fixed August 1st for case mention. Sulaiman was charged with producing forged bank guarantees for the proposed construction and completion of 338 housing units, as well as other related works for army officers and personnel of the Batu Sepuluh camp in Kuantan, Pahang, worth 3.75 million and 18.75 million ringgit respectively. The accused committed both offences at MINDEF, Jalan Padang Tembak, Sentul, between October 20th and November 15th, 2006. The offence under the Penal Code provides a maximum jail sentence of 20 years and a fine upon conviction. The court set bail at 80,000 ringgit with 1 shorty and also ordered Sulaiman to report to the nearest police station once a month, as well as surrender his passport to the court until the disposal of the case. AMG Owners Club of Malaysia, together with Mercedes-Benz Malaysia, MBM, have set a gathering record of 180 Mercedes AMG cars at a single location recently. The feat achieved at the AMG Track Day 2022 at the Sepang International Circuit also saw club members getting an exclusive driving experience, featuring a selection of luxury and high-performance vehicles from MBM. The event also saw the launch of 2 new models, the CKD AMG A35 sedan and the AMG GLA 35. Visuals of the Fiesta wrap up Nightline this time around. And with that, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for joining us and be well, Malaysia.